Welcome to HSE Pulse, a one-stop solution for all HSE related topics. I am Srinath Ganesh, experienced HSE professional from various industries such as construction, the oil and gas industries, etc. As part of NEBOSH GIC course series, we are currently under Unit GIC1, Management of Health and Safety, and Element 3, Managing Risk, Understanding People and Processes. Under Element 3, there are totally 8 sub-elements available. So up to 3.6 safe systems of work, we have already covered it in the previous videos. This video is about purely 3.7 permit to work systems. And also as part of NEBOSH GIC course series, we have already covered majority of the videos and we are going to cover the full syllabus in the upcoming videos. Kindly subscribe to HSE Pulse so that only further uploaded videos will come as a notification to your YouTube. Let's go into the video and discuss the topic in a detailed manner. Under element 3.7 permit to work systems, the following topics are only we are going to see. Definition of permit to work system, operation and application, typical uses of permit systems. Definition of permit to work system. A permit to work system is a formal documented safety procedure forming part of a safe system of work procedures. It also ensures that all necessary actions are taken before, during, and after particularly high risk work. So, in a simpler terms, getting the permission from the authorized person to do the work. That is called as permit to work system. So, permit to work system will be carried out in a documented paper manner and it is followed between two parties, either between the client and the contractor, or client and the supplier, client and the designer, or internally between two different departments in the company, it will be followed. So it is required for high risk activities such as hot work, height work, excavation work, lifting work, confined space work, any other maintenance related works or electrical related works. For these activities, permit to work systems are required mandatorily. So through permit to work system, before doing the work, whether all the risks are identified and all the control measures are implemented. So that only we are going to ensure it. And also after the work, does the work location brought back to the normal condition? So that's also it is ensured through the permit to work system, and that is the main objective of this permit to work system. Operation and application. Totally, there are 5 steps involved in the permit to work system: issuing, receipt, clearance, cancellation, and extension. First, issue. Only the authorized person will issue the permit based on the requisition from the executor. So what are the things it will cover? Let's see. Descriptions of work to be carried out. What is the work that need to be done? The date and time of issue and duration over which the permit will remain valid. So what is the date the permit is issued and also up to when it will be in a valid condition, which is the duration. The permit will be valid for 1 week. It will be expiring on so and so date and so and so time. Now, assessments of hazards associated with the job. Suppose if the permit is taken for hard work means, so what are the hazards, risks involved, and what are the control measures? All these things it will be mentioned clearly. So next point is that only controls required such as isolations, personal protective equipment, and emergency procedures, and firefighting measures such as providing fire extinguishers. All these things will be covered in the control measures. In mentioning all these things, along with that, signature of the authorized person who is issuing the permit also need to be recorded. So only the authorized person can able to issue the permit by following the checks. The authorized manager must specify the following details in the permit to work system during the issue stage. What is the exact nature of the work? What is the location of the work? Then who are all the persons who are going to carry out the work? And when the work is going to be started, at what time and what date, then up to when and what time the permit will be going to be valid, when it is going to expire. So these details. Then what are the control measures that should be there in place before starting the work, during the work, and after completion of the work. Then any other restrictions, such as, for example, if height work is going on means, then immediately it should be mentioned. Whenever there is a high wind flows, the height work should be stopped. In addition, any other permits which are already in that location. That also need to be checked and it should be mentioned accordingly. Suppose the permit is taken for height work, let's assume. Now another permit is requested for hot work, going to be issued for hot work means then that previously what permits are active in that location, that also need to be mentioned. Receipt. How only authorized person can able to issue the permit? That authorized person can be in the client side or internally means in the company side. Whoever the company has authorized to issue the permit, the person can able to issue the permit. Then receipt. Similarly, only the authorized person, which is only the competent person, can able to receive the permit. So once it is issued, then person who is going to execute the job, who is competent, can able to receive the permit by signing the permit under the receipt section, stating clearly that all the control measures mentioned I have understood and I will be responsible for taking the work in a safe manner. Then clearance. The person who has received the permit, the person of the receipt, the same person, after completion of the work, he will sign the clearance. Okay, that the area has been made safe and work has been completed and that they are leaving the area and all the isolations which are done can be removed. Isolation means, for example, maintenance work is going to be carried out on any pump or compressor, let's assume. So the maintenance activity need to be carried out pump or compressor. Electrical power need to be cut off. Then whatever fluid or gas coming to the pump or compressor, it need to be cut off. That procedure it is called as isolation. During the maintenance, isolation will be there. Then after the work has been completed, this isolation can be removed. That what they are telling. Then cancellation. After clearance from the person of the receipt, then authorized person who has issued the permit, the same person can able to cancel the permit, stating that the isolations have been removed and the area has been accepted back and that the equipment can be started in as per the normal conditions. So this is called as cancellation. Now, each permit will have a unique identification number so that copies of a permit can be traced back to the specific source. So each permit will have a unique identification number. Extension. Suppose the permit is issued for 2 hours of work, let's assume. Now within the 2 hours of work, the expected work can't be completed, can't able to be completed. Then the person who is executing the job, that person will request for the extension. Then again it will go for the authorized person who has issued the permit for the approval. Then further subsequent procedures will follow after approval. So this section is included in some permit system in case there is any overrun of the work. It allows the authorizing managers to grant an extension of the timescale of the permit. Usually permits will be issued in triplicate copies, just 3 copies. One copy will be held at the whoever has issued the permit. One copy will be held at the person who has received the permit and another copy of the permit will be displayed at the work location. So any amendment made in the permit, that permit will be totally invalid. For the permit to work systems to work effectively, only authorized persons should issue the permits. The permit issuers must be competent and must be familiar with the what is the hazards involved in the workplace and what is the job that need to be carried out. The control measures must be checked before permits are authorized. In many places, authorized person will issue the permit by sitting in the office. That is not at all allowed. Only by physical verification of the site whether all the control measures are implemented, then only he need to authorize the permit. Permits must never be amended. As I have told earlier, permits are issued in 3 copies. If amendment is made in 1 copy, then other 2 copies will remain updated. So if any amendment apart from the issuing stage, if it is done means, then the permit will be remain invalid. The permit document must be treated with the respect. Then all permit conditions, whatever it is mentioned, that must be complied with. Whoever is involved in the permit to work system, all the persons should be trained and competent. The permit to work system must be monitored to ensure it is effective. The permit to work system must be appropriate for the nature of the business. For example, a bakery may require a less complex system than working under the oil rigs. Sufficient time must be allowed to ensure permits are issued correctly and all the staff involved in permit work system are trained to understand this. Typical uses of permit systems. So previously we have seen what are the types of permit we have seen. Now here we are going to see for each permit what are the main factors or control measures that should be involved. For hot work permit means mainly fire is the main hazard here. So fire extinguisher or fire sprinkler systems that need to be included or that precautions should be taken. Working on electrical systems. Whenever working on electrical systems, only competent electricians should be authorized to work on that. Then also isolation need to be carried out, which is lockout tagout system for electrical, which should be carried out. Then whenever any machinery maintenance is carried out, same thing, only competent persons should be authorized to work and fire extinguisher should be kept nearby or isolation of the machine also should be carried out. In confined spaces, whenever working in the confined spaces, oxygen content will be very less and space will be in an enclosed nature. Only competent person who are physically fit only should be allowed to carry out the work in the confined spaces. And also gas testing need to be carried out for presence of any toxic gases. Now, working at height. Whatever the access equipment we are going to use, such as any ladder or scaffolding or mobile tower scaffolding for working at height activities, it should be in a proper condition and is fit for the use. Carrying out the pre-use inspection of the whatever the access equipment such as scaffolding, mobile tower scaffolding, ladders, only competent workers should be allowed to carry out the working at height activity. And lifting. For lifting, whatever the equipments we are using, either forklift or crane or any other equipments or hoist or any other equipments we are going to use for lifting, that should be in a good condition. And proper maintenance of that equipment should be carried out. Only competent person should be involved to operate the lifting equipments. Then in case of high wind, lifting activities should not be carried out, etc. Apart from this, many other things are there. Some important factors I am covering it. Detail we are going to discuss it in the upcoming videos. Just in the short glance I am telling. So excavation. Excavation means for the excavated areas, proper barricading systems should be there. Proper signages should be there. Then for the barriers to prevent from falling down, it should be provided with the sandbags or else providing the concrete barriers, etc. So mainly these are the types of permits: hot work, electrical systems, machinery maintenance, confined space permit system, working at height permit, then lifting permit, excavation permits. So we have covered the important controls. Let's also discuss it in the upcoming videos based on the topic wise, which all will be part of the syllabus. So let's discuss it. Hope you all had a good overview on the topics discussed in this video. Also, in the upcoming videos, we are going to cover the complete NEBOSH GIC course. Kindly subscribe to HSC Pulse so that only further uploaded videos will come as a notification to your mobile. Thanks for watching.